They won't tell you the truth about wealth. Not in school, not in your job, not in the media, and certainly not in the noise of the world around you. Because if you ever learned the real truth, the truth that Napoleon Hill discovered over a lifetime of study, you'd become unstoppable. You'd stop blaming, you'd stop waiting, you'd stop begging for permission, you'd rise, and the system that feeds on mediocrity, that breeds conformity, that rewards obedience over vision, it would crumble. So they keep you blind. They keep you broke. Not in your wallet, but in your mindset. They don't fear your poverty. They fear your awakening. Because when a man discovers the truth about wealth, he can no longer be controlled. Let's get one thing straight. Wealth is not about money. Money is a symptom, a side effect, a reflection of the value you create, the power you command, and the discipline you live by. The real wealth, the kind Hill uncovered in Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil, starts in your mind. It starts with belief, with clarity, with inner authority. Because no man can hold riches in his hand until he holds them in his mind. That's the secret they never teach you. They teach you how to earn a paycheck, how to play safe, how to retire one day if you're lucky. But they never teach you how to build the kind of mindset that attracts abundance like a magnet. Because that kind of man doesn't follow, he leads. Napoleon Hill spent decades studying the richest and most powerful men in the world. Carnegie, Ford, Edison, giants who didn't inherit their wealth, but created it. And what he found wasn't luck. It wasn't connections. It wasn't genius. It was something deeper, a burning desire, a definite purpose, and an unbreakable belief in the unseen. The hidden lesson wasn't in strategy. It was in psychology. Every wealthy man Hill studied started poor. But what separated them was how they thought, how they acted, how they saw themselves before the world saw it. They became rich first in spirit, then in reality. But that truth won't be handed to you because it demands more than information. It demands transformation. And that's the part nobody wants to do. Most people would rather stay comfortable than become powerful. They'd rather be entertained than educated. They'd rather talk about change than live it. But the moment you accept the hidden lesson, the moment you decide that wealth starts with who you become, not what you have, you begin to activate a force that reshapes your entire life. Here's the raw truth. You are the cause of your wealth, or your lack of it. That's what Hill taught, and that's what almost everyone avoids. We want to blame the economy, the government, our boss, our background. But as long as you give power to something outside yourself, you stay poor. The rich take ownership. They decide their future. They write their vision. And they act as if it's already done because they know the truth. Wealth follows certainty, not doubt. Confidence, not fear. Action, not excuses. One of Hill's greatest insights, one that rarely gets the spotlight, is the concept of autosuggestion. The daily, deliberate feeding of the mind with thoughts of power, success, and destiny. He taught that your subconscious mind is always listening and that it cannot distinguish between reality and belief. So when you tell yourself you're broke, unlucky, or average, your mind accepts it as law and your actions follow. But when you tell yourself daily that you're powerful, wealthy, destined, your entire nervous system shifts, your energy sharpens, your focus locks in, and your mind begins to work on turning that belief into fact. Most people speak poverty into their lives. They affirm struggle. They romanticize being broke as humble or real. But there's nothing noble about limitation. Hill made it clear. Poverty is a disease of the mind. And like any disease, it must be healed through discipline, exposure, and truth. You don't have to stay broke. You don't have to settle. But you do have to wake up. You do have to let go of the victim story. Because as long as you're clinging to your excuses, you're rejecting your power. And make no mistake, wealth requires work. Not just hard work, aligned work, purpose-driven work. The kind of work that demands your full focus, your highest standards, and your deepest values. Hill wrote that wealth is the result of organized planning, persistent effort, and unwavering faith. That means no more random action, no more emotional decisions, no more chasing shiny objects. You must become a strategic warrior with your time, your mind, and your vision. Every hour, every habit, every choice must serve your mission. That's how the wealthy operate. They live by design, not default. But the system doesn't teach that. It teaches you to trade time for money, to work for decades just to survive, to retire at 65 and hope you saved enough. That's not wealth. That's modern slavery. Hill's hidden lesson is that freedom is your birthright, but it must be earned through self-mastery. Not luck, not inheritance, not shortcuts. Mastery of thought, of purpose, of discipline. And no one can give that to you. You must choose it daily. You see, wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you become. The moment you align your thoughts, your actions, and your identity with wealth, the world begins to shift. You start moving differently. You start attracting the right people. You start seeing opportunities that others miss. Because wealth isn't just money. It's awareness. The wealthy think long-term. They think in assets, not expenses. They invest in skills, in relationships, in impact. They know the highest return isn't in stocks, it's in self. So if you want the truth, if you want the hidden code that no one teaches, here it is. Get disciplined. Get obsessed. Get clear. Know what you want, why you want it, and what you're willing to sacrifice to get it. Burn the boats. Cut off plan B. Stop hedging. And start living like your dreams are non-negotiable. Because they are. Wealth demands a new version of you. The broke version can't come. The distracted, doubtful, indecisive you. He must die. Because wealth only follows leaders. Not in title, but in spirit. And a leader is someone who does what others won't, so they can live how others can't. The final truth, the one almost no one is ready to face, is this. You already have what it takes. But until you believe that, until you live like that, until you speak like that, the door stays shut. Not because the door is locked, but because you haven't knocked hard enough. Knock again. Knock louder. Knock with fire in your soul, and the universe will open. Not out of charity, but because you've become the kind of person who cannot be denied. You want wealth? Become wealth? You want freedom? Live free inside first? You want power? Master your thoughts, your habits, your emotions. Napoleon Hill gave you the blueprint. He gave you the principles. He showed you that wealth is never withheld. It is earned by those who are willing to discipline their mind, define their purpose, and commit with their entire soul. So now you know. The truth they'll never teach you. The truth that can't be sold in a course or bought in a book. The truth that must be lived. The only question is, will you rise or will you retreat back into the lie that it's not possible. Not for you, not now. Your future is not found. It is built, one belief, one action, one decision at a time. You've been given the truth. Now do what the world fears most. Become it.